Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the PivotBoss pre-market video for Tuesday, May 5th, 2020. I am Frank Ochoa, aka PivotBoss. Thank you very much for those of you who joined me yesterday afternoon for my monthly PivotBoss monthly outlook. That has already been posted to the website and also in the PivotBoss EchoFin trading room, so I wanted to show you where that is in case you wanted to re-watch the recording or watch it for the first time. This is your pivotboss.echofin.co room here. This is how you join to watch the meeting in the previous session. So if you log in here, you can go to PivotBoss TV and it'll pop up a window here with a playlist. You can see right now the PivotBoss monthly outlook is the current most recent posted video. This usually houses all the pre-market videos, so as soon as you're watching this pre-market video, it'll go to first position. Second position will be the monthly outlook, so that's where you can re-watch it. If you want to go directly to the website, you can go to pivotboss.com and go to the news section here, and that'll bring up your PivotBoss monthly outlook in this list here, so you can go back and watch the video that way. Alright, let's take a look now at the ES. Here's the ES in a daily time frame. What we're seeing right now is a pullback to the monthly pivot range right here. So market has been trending higher ever since the mid to late March low. It has trended higher and is now pulling back into the pivot range for the month and is now bouncing out of that range. For those of you who have my book Secrets of a Pivot Boss, you know that that is what I call a higher value relationship, and it has shifted the bias here from a lower value relationship month over month that which we have seen over the last couple of months, and we have now shifted it to a higher value. Price pushed into and out of that zone already, and that could lead to new highs down the road. So I mentioned yesterday, if we can find strength here off these lows, that could suggest 1 to 5 days up, perhaps 1 to 7 days up of trending behavior to the upside to retest these recent highs. That will also take price into about 2950 to 3000 as an upside target. A failure to hold 2800 would open up a return back toward the 2700 recent lows, but right now everything continues to flow to the upside until proven otherwise. Taking a look at the NQ, you'll see here the NQ is also pushing higher out of the pivot range. This one was a very good pullback scenario here where it bounced and rallied, filling the gap here, closing the day nice and strong for the most part, and now we're seeing a continuation again. We talked about this in the previous pre-market report that the pullback into the higher value relationship could provide a nice bounce over the next 1 to 5 days. We are now seeing that come to fruition. Now, one level I would have you keep an eye on is this FOMC key level, and that goes for the ES as well. Right now it's 89.60 half, and that's the FOMC key level from April 29th. It initially was offered on the second day and dropped down, and now price is coming back to it. If this level goes offered again, we will likely come out and take out and retest these lows here. Price is going to need to take that area bid and then perhaps make it support in order to continue higher. So that's going to be a key level to continue to watch for overhead resistance here later on today. Alright, let's take a look here at crude oil. I'm looking at crude oil July contract here. Again, some of you may be able to trade this contract, some of you may not. Either way, this is the safer contract versus the June contract right now. But one thing I would have you watch is, again, this pattern of lower highs here and the lower value relationships created by the pivot range month over month. And each and every time you have that relationship, when price pushes into that range, it is an opportunity for bears to sell. Up here it pushes into it, they sell. Up here they push into it, they sell. Now, at what point does it go down? Because again, is it the first day because it closes above it? Second day, when is it? I always say you have to wait for rejection. We're always looking for signs of rejection, and in this case you're seeing rejection here with a signal and a drop. Over here you saw rejection as well, no signal, small day, and over here you had a bearish outside day signal as well. Right now we haven't seen that signal come out yet. I talked about the 25 level yesterday in the pre-market report as well. We're coming into that level right there. That is the level. So if you see right there, that's basically 25s. We're coming into it. And so for the most part, if price can get through 25s, that would be really bullish, but to stay above it would be even more bullish, because if it gets through 25s and then closes below and shows us some sort of signal like this, we're likely headed lower to a new low yet again. So 25 is going to be very important. The pivot range here is going to be very important. Watch for signs of rejection, because if we begin to see them, we may have the next 2 weeks be downward price action here in crude oil. Lastly, taking a look at gold futures, you will see gold here continues to hold inside the range. It has had a very clear range from 1675 to 1775. You can see right here, bullish outside day, a doji digestive day today, a failed new low. Does that suggest we're about to bounce here? Price would need to hold 1700 for that to be the case. If that's the case, we could see a push back toward the upper end of this narrow range, 1750 call it. A failure to hold that 1700 level will likely rotate this thing back toward recent support, 1660 perhaps, and then retry that lower area. But right now, the idea is that we look to fade the edges of this range, because that's the range we're in. And because of this recent rejection and now the failed low, the idea is the water gets moved to the other side of the bathtub for now, before another rejection brings it right back down. We'll see how this plays out heading into the rest of the session. Good luck, trade well, and I'll see you in the trading room. Take care.